brother's fiance at the time was a truck driver. He'd been doing it for decades. And I knew that, I'd been to his house, I'd seen how much he invested, like he was smart with his money, and he was a successful guy. So obviously I knew it was a good career to be in, and it was something that was, going to pay the bills. I had friends who were in it. I had one friend of mine who tried to convince me to get into it, but the home time was something that I struggled with and I really was worried about. Ultimately, money, wanting to feel secure and safe and like I had a good, reliable job, because this job has a lot of job security. Your guys' emphasis on home time. So I think it's like 5% of drivers, according to the website statistic, are gone for 9 days at a time. And even then, that's just 9 days. So the emphasis on home time with the balance of rewarding drivers in many different ways really placed a lot of emphasis on you guys as a great company that supports your drivers. And that was really attractive to me. The process really began with calling you, our recruiting manager, and just trying to get all the information I could out of you and trying to figure things out. I would say the most difficult process, you guys make things easy because you are honest. And if I had a question that maybe there were like 3 different answers to, you'd let me know. You'd say, well, it depends. There's this, there's this, there's this. But it was never just, oh, it depends. You'll find out when you get there. Like, there was always transparency, which I appreciate. However, what was difficult was deciding a company, because I had to do a lot of research and figure out the many ways in which I could be screwed over, for lack of a better term, ways in which I could be abused, run off my clock, or running off my recap is the phrase. I had to do a lot of research to figure out what made you guys a good company. Half of it is feel, like I said, you guys were honest and transparent, and I appreciated that. But the other half was figuring out what to do. So that was honestly the most difficult part of it, was making sure that I was selecting a good company. However, once I wanted to apply and get everything done, you guys made things very easy. I was well researched, so I already had everything done with my Kentucky CDA portal, because I live in Louisville, and I had my permit, I had my medical card, my DOT physical, like I was ready. But even if I wasn't, you all were prepared to say, you need this, you need this, you need this, like, so you all made things incredibly easy. For some people, I could see the 2-year contract being a little intimidating, but for me and my place and where I'm at right now, it wasn't very intimidating at all. And I read through the whole contract. There's nothing predatory in it. So, yeah, there was no difficulty once I decided to go for Chrome. Once I got into it, it felt like a good time. I really enjoyed Cindy. We got along very well, and the first week was the most pivotal, critical, and just overall I learned so much in that first week, to where the other 3 weeks just kind of fell into place. It didn't feel like I really was pushing this boulder up a mountain. The first week, it takes effort. It takes a lot of dedication, and you need to want to have this job. Otherwise, you're not going to succeed. So that first week of going through the Luma training, going through orientation, and learning kind of all my P's and Q's and what I need to do, that was a lot. But that's with any new first job that you go into. Afterwards, I had so much faith and trust in Cindy and her process and Chrome Driving Academy as a whole, that she would say something like, to set this up a little better. When I first started, she said, I don't want any part of this to be comfortable for you. I don't want you to feel as though, oh, this is an easy ride, I'm just taking it fine, it's whatever. No, it was, I'm gonna push you outside your comfort zone and you're gonna learn. And I appreciated that, because on my fourth day even learning about semis and doing anything with semis, my fourth day I was in it driving around the roads. And that was crazy. I would have never thought that would happen. But it just goes to show that the process was so extraordinary that I was able to do that. By my fourth day, I'm driving around a semi. On that same day, it was my first day even driving it. And then she let me on the roads because she had so much confidence in me. But it was really funny. There were many times during those weeks that felt like they fell into place. There were many times where she'd say, okay, we're gonna get on the freeway today. What do you think about that? Are you comfortable? I'm like, I trust you, Cindy. She'd say, well, you need to trust yourself. Like, I do. I have confidence that I'll be okay because your program has been so stellar. And it was always something funny where we'd get back and forth. She's like, no, you need to have confidence in yourself. I'm like, I do, but whatever you throw at me, I'm just gonna be like, okay, let's do it. I'm ready. But yeah, it was, I hesitate to call it a breeze because it's a lot of learning, it's a lot of intense things, and you have to put in the work. But for me personally, it felt like a breeze. Cindy and I got along, and I pick up quick. So from the Thursday that I took my CDL test, which is like the 27th of March, to the next Friday, the first week of April, where I started going out with a driver trainer, that whole transitionary period was no more than a week. Specifically speaking about the transitionary period, my first week, that was a little disorienting, just because I had to go through a second layer of orientation again. And I was thankful because with people unlike myself who already possess a CDL and want to apply for Chrome, it's all thrown at them in the space of 1 week. Mine, thankfully, was split. I got to learn a little bit at the beginning of CDA, and I got to learn a little bit at the beginning of the Chrome finishing school. I definitely feel like I'm more polished by the end of it, because there were a lot of things and a lot of situations where I'm learning more, doing more, and understanding more about being a driver. So, for example, mountain driving, going out with one of our driver trainers, James Essex. He's a wonderful man, and I learned a lot from him, and I learned a lot about manipulating the truck. And there's those different situations, like when I was driving in Chicago, when I was driving in Detroit, when I was driving in the mountains. Those three different situations taught me a wealth of knowledge about anything that I might encounter on the road. And that was where I was very grateful for the variety and the diversity that was offered through the driving training program. One is pay, because there were a couple other companies I was looking at that when they said, hey, we're going to throw you through our CDA sponsorship or CDL sponsorship program similar to CDA, and then we're going to have you do our little finishing school that's mandated. All that is a flat $500, and you don't earn any more than that. And it could last up to 3 months. With Crum, it was $500 before tax, gross income, for the CDA school, and then $700 once I transitioned into the finishing school. The $700 enabled me to be able to pay my bills and still learn. The $500 was tight for anybody, and so was the $700, but it gave me a peace of mind of knowing, okay, I'm going up another level to be able to earn more, to get to the open board, to where I'm going to be earning the real money. Second to that, I would say a lot of other companies I noticed they really only advertised, hey, we're going to have you go out with a trainer for possibly 2 weeks at a time. And you'll probably go out with the same trainer for the next 2 weeks. And then that's your 4 weeks of finishing school, and you don't get any more than that. And that I didn't really like. Meanwhile, with Crum, there's every week I'm with a different person. So 1 week I was going to Detroit, 1 week I'm going to Chicago, 1 week I'm going to Beulahville, North Carolina, through the mountains. So the variety of information that I'm gaining is really spectacular. I'm grateful that I went into this with a mindset of nothing but hard work, because it allowed me to keep an open mind and it allowed me to learn more efficiently. Mm-hmm. Meanwhile, if I came into this thinking, oh, I'll master it, no, I would have set myself up for failure. So keep an open mind, expect hard work, and take what comes your way.